to a mayyit, it is then wajib to give tayammum in its place. For each ghusl, a separate tayammum must be given, specifying clearly whether it is in place of ghusl with sip, kafur, or pure water. If water becomes available after the mayyit has been given tayammum, but before burial, then ghusl will have to be given. In this case, tayammum will automatically become void. Tayammum also becomes necessary when the dead body has been extensively wounded or injured, or when it is burnt, or mutilated, or when it is partly bended, or in any other instance, when it is feared that the use of water will cause damage to the body and the skin will be peeled off. If, on the other hand, there is no such fear, however much the body has been affected, then ghusl should be given very carefully. In cases where the limbs or other parts of the body have become detached, then they will have to be put together and ghusl should be given. The person who will administer tayammum to the mayyit will first make niyyah that the tayammum is given in place of ghusl.
He will use his own hands to strike them on the sand, soil or dust, and then shake it off. With palms put together side by side, the forehead is rubbed starting from the hairline, covering both sides of the forehead, and then moving down to the tip of the nose. The back of the right hand is rubbed starting from the wrist to the fingertips. Similarly, the back part of the left hand is rubbed from the wrist to the fingertips. He then strikes both palms on the earth for the second time. This time, only the backs of both the hands are rubbed. Note that while giving tayammum, the body is laid in the same way as during ghusl, that is, with the soles of the feet facing Qibla.
فإنهم يومئذ في العذاب مشتركون إنا كذلك نفعل بالمجرمين إنهم كانوا إذا قيل لهم لا إله إلا الله يستكبرون ويقولون أئنا لتاركو آلهتنا لشاعر مجنون بل جاء بالحق وصدق المرسلين إنكم لذائق العذاب الأليم وما تجزون إلا ما كنتم تعملون إلا عباد الله المخلصين أولئك لهم رزق معلوم فواكه وهم مكرمون في جنات النعيم على سرر متقابلين يطاف عليهم بكأس من معين بيضاء لذة للشاربين لا فيها غول ولا هم عنها ينزفون وعندهم قاصرات الطرف عين كأنهن بيض مكنون فأقبل بعضهم على بعض يتساءلون قال قائل منهم إني كان لي قرين يقول أئنك لمن المصدقين.
The Prophet has enjoined upon every Muslim to keep his own coffin ready during his lifetime. He should also carry it with him when he is traveling. This is Sunnat. There is no doubt that this act will be a constant reminder that death will one day come to all of us. Now what is coffin? Coffin is what is commonly known as a shroud. It consists of pieces of cloth which must be packed. They must not be sewn or stitched and should be preferably white, although using white cloth is not wajib. Pure silk is forbidden, and so is an animal's skin. Coffin consists of 3 pieces which are wajib. 1 chadar, a kind of an overall, a piece of cloth wide enough so that it can be wrapped around the whole body, and it should be long enough to cover the body from a little above the head to a little beyond the toes. 1 pairahan, sometimes called a kurta, or simply a shirt. It is a piece of cloth which is used to cover the body from the shoulders to the ankles. Notice the V-shaped neck and the flaps. 1 lungi or loincloth. It is a piece of cloth which is used to cover the body round the waist, from the hips up to a little beyond the knees, preferably down to the ankles. The 3 pieces, namely the chadar, pairahan or sometimes called a kurta, and a lungi, are essential, that is wajib.
The next 3 pieces are sunnat, an extra chadar, a kind of an overall. 1 zanuband, sometimes called ran pech. It is a piece of cloth used to cover the thighs put together. It is to be used before the lungi, the loin cloth. 1 amama, a head turban. In the case of women, there are 2 extra pieces. 1 sinaband, a kind of bodice. It is used to cover the breasts. The knot is to be tied at the back. 1 makna, a kind of head scarf. It is to be used in the same manner as the ladies do when they wear a chadar for daily prayers.
Let us now recap. For a male body, there are 6 pieces, 3 being wajib, namely the chadar, a pairahan or kurta, and a lungi, and 3 being sunnat, namely an extra chadar, zanuband or ranpech, and 1 amama. For a female body, there are 7 pieces, 3 being wajib, namely a chadar, a pairahan or kurta, a lungi or loincloth, and 4 being sunnat, namely an extra chadar, zanu band or ran pech, sina band, and a makna. We will now show you one at a time how each piece of cloth is used. We will then show you how in actual practice the process of attiring the body with the kafan is done. First, the 3 wajib pieces, chadar and overall. This is to be wrapped around the whole body. Notice its length. It is slightly longer than the actual size of the body, so that the end beyond the head and the end beyond the toes can be tied by a strip of cloth. Pairahan or kurta, or simply a shirt. Observe that the top part is rolled up so that the head of the body can pass through the slit. This is put on like a shirt. Lungi or loincloth. This is to be wrapped around the waist. Notice that the arms of the body are slightly raised up in wrapping the lungi round the waist.
And now the 3 sunnat pieces. The next chadar. An overall, it is to be used in the same manner as the wajib chadar. Ran pech. This is to be used to cover tightly both the thighs put together. It is to be used before the lungi, the loin cloth. Again, observe the arms of the body are slightly raised up. Amama, a head turban. This is to be wrapped round the forehead. One end, which passes over the left cheek and under the chin, rests on the right side of the chest. The other end, which passes over the right cheek and under the chin, rests on the left side of the chest.
We will now show you how the various pieces of cloth are spread and piled one on another. Remember the important principle in piling the pieces of cloth. The piece to be used last is spread first, followed by the piece that will be used before the last one, and so on. In this way, the piece of cloth that will be used first in attiring the body will be spread and piled last. Notice also during the process how each piece is properly positioned in the pile. All the pieces are to be spread and piled in a dry and park place. First, 4 strips of cloth are laid out. Two are to be used to tie the top end of chadar and the bottom end, and the other 2 along the body to help the coffin to stay in position. When the body will be finally laid to rest in the grave, these strips will be untied but will not be removed from the grave. Second, chadar, which is sunnat. Third, chadar, which is wajib. Fourth, pairahan or kurta, which is wajib. Notice that the top part is rolled up to enable the head to pass through the slit. Fifth, lungi or loincloth, which is wajib. Sixth, zanuband, which is sunnat. Seventh, amama, which is sunnat. Eighth, a spread of cotton wool which is to be used to cover the private parts before the body is attired with coffin. Remember that at no stage should the body remain totally naked, even for a little while. Having given ghusl to the mayyit, the body will be transferred from the stretcher to the pile of pieces of cloth which constitute the coffin. Okay. He was lying with the soles of the feet facing the Qibla. But after ghusl, at every stage, that is, while giving hunut, attiring the body and praying namaz-e mayyit, the body is laid on its back with the right side towards Qibla. Before attiring the body with kafan, it is wajib to give hunut to the mayyat. But first, the niyat must be made. Hunut means applying kafur, that is camphor, to all those 7 parts of the body which touch the ground while one performs sajda. They are the forehead, the 2 palms of the hand, the 2 knees, and the 2 toes.
It is sunnat to apply kafur on the nose, and if there is some still left, it may be sprinkled on the chest.
Now see how the body is attired with the kafan. First, the cotton wool. Secondly, zanu band. Thirdly, the lungi. Fourthly, the pairahan. You will now see the use of 2 small green twigs, preferably of a palm tree or any tree. It is recommended that cotton wool should be wrapped round the jarida. Or jarida is placed on the right side, directly touching the body under the armpit. The second twig or jarida should be kept on the left side, above the pairahan or kurta. The placing of jarida is sunnat. Sixth, the chadar. Seventh, another chadar. Eighth, the strips of cloth are to be tied round along the body to keep the coffin in position. If a blood stain is seen on the coffin after the body has been shrouded, that part of the coffin where there is blood is najis. In such a case, either that part of the coffin should be washed to remove the stains of blood and made pak, or if the portion of coffin is small, then that portion can be cut off with a pair of scissors. The next step is offering Ahkame Mayyit. This is wajib, but again it is wajib-e-kifai. It is wajib to offer Ahkame Mayyit for every dead person who is 6 years old or over. For Mayyit under 6 years, it is sunnat. For a stillborn baby, there is no need to offer Ahkame Mayyit. For Ahkame Mayyit, we do not need wudu, nor is ghusl necessary. Our body and clothes need not be pak. We should stand behind the janaza or mayyit if it has not been put in the janaza. We face the qibla and pray. This namaz is very simple. It has no ruku or sajda. There are 5 takbeers, that is Allahu Akbar, and in between those 5 takbeers, there are brief du'as or recitations. Ahkame Mayyit may be offered in any of the 2 forms. One, a short form, and the other, a little longer. We will now show how namaz is offered in the short form, as only those recitations that are wajib are recited in this form.
الصلاة الصلاة. Do you allow me to offer Ahkame Mayyit for the Mayyit of Fatiha? Bismillah.
The first takbir.
Allahu Akbar. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وأن محمدا رسوله.
Allah is great. I bear witness that there is no God but Allah, and that Muhammad is his prophet.
The second takbir.
Allah is great. O Allah, show your blessings upon Muhammad and his progeny.
The third takbir.
Allah is great. O Allah, pardon all the believers, male and female.
The fourth takbir.
Allah is great. O Allah, pardon this mayyit, that is the dead.
The fifth takbir.
Allah is great.
One important thing to remember about Namaz-e Mayyit is that all the people participating in the namaz must recite all these du'as, recitations themselves, even if these prayers are offered in congregation, that is, in the form of namaz-e jamaat. It is not enough to say takbir and remain silent while the one leading the prayers recites the du'as alone. We have to repeat the du'as with him as he goes along. However, the one which is normally in use these days is recommended, especially so because it conceals the dead body